Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Here in Lost Hope in Central Fanalan, where last time we beat down a refugee uprising so they didn't get slaughtered by the real soldiers. The merchant wished to approach the refugees in stone throw, but was waiting until the flames withdrew their forces from the vicinity. Now that they have, there's nothing to stop him from continuing his work. How many more must perish in pursuit of this futile cause? How much more suffering must we endure before it ends? Find him. Convince him to cease his mad quest. It will surely lead us to ruin. Yeah, there was this merchant who riled up the refugees and armed them. Hello, little one. Have you seen my parents? They told me to stay here with the others. They said they'd be back soon, but it's been days. They left with a man from Ulda. The man said they were gonna change everything, but it make it so it could live inside the walls with everyone else. I liked it when he said that. I didn't like it when he talked about making the rich people pay. Everyone looked so angry and I got scared. Say, miss, are you looking for someone? I'm looking for a merchant. You mean the man who left with my parents? But I don't know where he... Wait, look, over there. I think that's him. Well, well. Which of these gullible fools shall be my next victim? You? He's getting away. Go get him, miss. They shortened this. Normally you had to, I believe, go to 2 separate areas before you finally encountered him and he fled. You again? Why are you pursuing me? Sedition? Treason? Revolution? That's preposterous. Who has filled your head with these lies? Refugees? The self-same refugees who terrorized the streets of Ulda? Ha! You have no evidence to prove your accusations. None. No, I will not accompany you to the Hall of Flames. You have no right to detain me. For the sake of argument, let us say I did do the things you claim. Surely you don't think I give a kirkion's ass about politics? It was business. Only business. So? We both know I'm not the one you want. However, if you agree to protect me, I swear I shall tell you everything. Alright. That went well. What's all this commotion? 7 healths. Tell the others to spread out and search the area where killer may still be close. Hold, adventurer, I would know more about your relationship with the victim, as well as events leading up to his death. I was investigating someone arming refugees. This man was responsible for the recent riots? Maybe we owe his murderer a debt of gratitude. In any case, it's obvious you're not the one whom we seek. You may carry on with your investigation, Scion. And report back. This is a bad ending. He was being silenced. What news, Lieutenant? Where's the merchant? Murdered? Damn it all to the 7 healths. He wasn't simply murdered, Lieutenant, he was silenced. Too many knew his face, and he was ready to divulge his secrets. Do not despair, though. We may be closer to identifying the true orchestrator of these riots when you realize. That is good. The Flame General left word that you were to proceed to the Fragrant Chamber as soon as you've returned. We wish to discuss with you recent discoveries as well as the results of our own investigation. Master Alvino has already been informed and should be waiting for you outside. Pray proceed to the Royal Promenade with all haste and speak with Bartholomew. Excellent work, Desiree. The information you brought helped us persuade General Urban to call this meeting. Perhaps now we can discuss matters openly and honestly. We've been expecting you, madam. Please proceed inside.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
Asking for permission?
This information does not leave this room. The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination. Together with a group of Alamegan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence. Until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters. It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated. Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Teleji Adeleji.
Teleji Adeleji?
The man who helped us.
But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
Know you of the Cartano Reclamation Bill? It is a proposal to annex the Cartano Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
Okay, but that is contested territory.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield.
Because the Cartano Flats are a PvP zone.
The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Cartano Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Allagan ruins, of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations. In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Teleji Adeleji proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill. A shameless bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Allagan ruin.
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
He walks a path all his own, independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Cartano Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution. His sympathy for the plight of the Domins was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Teleji Adeleji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
Omega. One of a Final Fantasy staple super weapons.
Pardon?
An Allagan monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated. Allagan inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself. If accurate, it might explain why Nael Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cartano Flats. Given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon. One which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged. However, if someone were to restore it, as the Garleans did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Power enough to subjugate Uldar like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Teleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Ul'dah.
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
I should be glad to know the truth, and yet the thought of that all this chaos was a product of one man's lust for power sickens me. How long do you think they intended to hide the existence of Omega from the science? That they even felt the need to do so is most troubling. It would be in our best interest to learn more of the military activities in the disputed territories. Fortunately, you are already well positioned to do so, Lieutenant Klingorm. Pray keep us informed of any developments in Cardinal. Begun, whelp. There's no place for children. I'm sorry. I was looking for you, miss. You said you were looking for a man who left with my parents. You know this girl? I met her during the investigation. Her parents followed the uprising. So you visited Stone's Throw as well, I see. Did you find the man? Were my parents with him? They were not, I'm afraid. However, I can think of several places they might be. If you like, we can go and look for them together. Really? Will help me look, mister? Of course, but first I must needs finish speaking with my friend. She's telling me a secret, you see, so no one else is allowed to listen. Maybe you could wait for me by that pillar over there? We require but a moment. Okay, mister, I'll be waiting. I'll take her to the quicksand. Mayhap Momodi will know what to do. A legion of Guardians, an Aether Staff Primal, even dealing with an Ascian would be preferable to risk charade. Sometimes I feel Minfilia is too ambitious. We rush hither and yon in response to threats as they arise, without concern for the strain it places on our already limited resources and ourselves. Maybe the time has come for a change. Desiree, this is Minfilia. I know this is sudden, but I must ask you to return to Revenant's Toll with all due haste. The situation in the Trollswood has taken a turn for worse. I'll explain in detail once you arrive. I must go. Minfilia calls me. The Trollswood, the primal threat she spoke of before, has been confirmed. I've received no report of Ixali activity, which leaves the sylphs. Go, Desiree. You know as well as I that appearance of a primal takes precedence over all else. Oh, and when you arrive, do inform the Antecedent that, while I'm grateful for her concern, she needn't fear for my safety. I'm more than capable of protecting myself. I've come on behalf of the Elder Seats to petition the aid of your order. The Antecedent has been apprised of the situation. It's a relief to see you healthy and hale, Desiree. The latest news from Ul'dah was most troubling. Clearly, the only injury Alphenus suffered was his ego. Doubtless it will heal ere long. The other Scions will need to be present for this meeting. If you're ready to begin, I will summon them now. Thank you for responding to my call with such haste. Rest assured, I should not have summoned you were it not urgent. To business then. I've received some most disturbing news from the Order of the Twin Adder. They have reason to believe that the Sylphs may have called forth their revered guardian, the Primal Ramu. I'm sorry, may have, when it's not certain. The Elder Seatsia informed us that the elementals themselves murmur of the Lord of Levin's return to the forest. The Sylphlands, however, display no sign of undue commotion. Forgive me, antecedent, but that fact need not contradict the elemental's testimony. Unlike his more bellicose compeers, Garuda and so on, Ramu is reputed to act only in the defense of his children. I imagine he would soon make his presence known if any were foolish enough to directly endanger the Sylphs or their territory. The abruptness of this development concerns me. Were we not keeping close watch on the touched ones and their movement? If preparations of a summoning ritual were indeed underway, it would have surely not escaped your notice. Oh, it didn't. I was pretty sure it was going to happen, just not this soon. I beg your pardon? You foresaw this eventuality and did not prevent it? I told Papa Limo. I suppose I could have reported things to Menphilia earlier, but there honestly wasn't much we could do except wait and see. You know how the Sylphs feel about people poking around in their territory. They already summoned Ramu once right after the calamity, but that was because the Guardians came tramping through the forest. And so long as custom orient stands, the Sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing to have their guardian deity on hand. In short, Ida and I are in agreement. The actions of the forest folk were inevitable and unavoidable. And I maintain that observation would have remained the best policy had it not been for the sudden influx of strangers into the Black Shroud. That, alas, we did not foresee. By all accounts, the recent violence in Ulda drove a number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of the trees. It was like that the Sylphs perceived this panic migration as yet another invasion and quickened their efforts to summon their god. I am put in mind of Titan and the kobolds. Once again, it's the affairs of men which have paved the way for a primal's coming. Indeed, one cannot help but wonder what manner of place there would be without the civilizing influence of mankind. Be that as it may, this regrettable development does afford us a unique opportunity. Desiree, through your dealings with the Sylphs of Little Solace, you once succeeded in preventing an untimely conflict with Gridanium. I wonder, might one who has treated with the Sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with their patron deity? If Ramu can be convinced of our intentions, it may be the first step to breaking the cycle of primal summoning. A fond hope. Were such a thing possible, we would not have been at war with a beastman since time immemorial. But maybe this time we can... Let us continue this discussion anon. We must needs first consult with the nation most affected by Ramu's presence. The Elder Seatsia has requested your personal involvement, Desiree. Pray report to Commander Holiar at the Adder's Nest as soon as you are able. Steel yourself for the worst. While I hope for a peaceful resolution to this matter, experience suggests that your meeting with the Lord of Levin will prove less than amicable. In such an event, your fellow Science will of course lend you whatever support you require. But I think I end this episode here and we look into Ramu later. Until next time then, I am Mace and don't get lost.